Hello again guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I posted my last video analysis. So today I'm back. So we are going to look at few pairs. We are going to look at dollar CAD, pound Aussie, Aussie kiwi, Aussie yen. Then we're going to look at US oil and Bitcoin. Okay, so first we're going to start with dollar CAD. Dollar has been quite volatile of late, and that's due to news that has made a little bit of impact the market. So looking at dollar CAD, we can clearly see that it's very corrective. Yeah, so potentially it's due to this impulsive wave over here. Once it has cleared it, we push again to the upside. Now whether it will break this high, we still don't know, but our move for this pair is towards the upside. Okay guys, so first and foremost we need to locate our value areas. Our value areas, as you guys know, I usually draw my value areas with a trend line, yeah, because value areas are the order blocks. I use smart money concept and the Falcon strategy. Okay, so for smart money concept I use it to locate the order blocks where potentially the price will be bouncing back or will be reversing, and then for the Falcon we get those patterns to add confidence to our buyers, okay, our directional buyers. So first and foremost, if you look at the trend line, this is the area where it broke, and this is where our order block is. Yeah, as you can see, it's a high time frame value area. So this trend line, most of the time where it breaks, it's where we get our order blocks. And as you can see over here, we did get that order block in this level over here. Okay, the price tagged it and then pushed to the upside. Now according to the way the price is moving currently, you can see this last red candle over here before this impulsive phase. We can take this candle as our order block, right? So we can take this area right here as our area of interest. That's the zone that we'll be looking at. But since I want to be precise, I usually use my trend lines to get that precise area where the price will least touch. Okay, and drawing this trend over here, you can see if I'm to draw this trend from the bottom, this one already did come. If I'm to draw over here, the price broke it the downside, so you keep adjusting it until where the price never came back inside. Okay, and that will be this area right here. So you can see, using trend line and the order block zone, you can see trend line now makes the area quite precise. Yeah, the precise area where we want our price to bounce up from. So as you can see from here, the price was bounced nicely from our value area. Now let's go down to a lower time frame. We see if we can get other confidence to back up our buyers. So over here I can see this, you can see we have this area, first one, second one, and then we broke this area. Yeah, we broke it over here. Let me just use a ray. We broke this value area, this key area, I mean this is a key area. We broke it. So once we have broken this area, the price should not have broken this low, because it should have told us that the price is on an uptrend. Yeah, once we broke this side, the price should be on an uptrend, meaning this should have been just a correction and a continuation to the upside. But as you can see, the price broke to the downside, breaking also the previous low. So what does that tell us? That tells us that the price might be forming an expanding type of pattern right here, an expanding type of pattern over there and over here. Now this was my first pattern from last week, and I think I did post this to my Telegram group. If you are not in my free Telegram channel, the link will be on description. So as you can see, from this pattern over here, we were expecting the price to bounce up from this area, because this is the area where we first got our touch of the value area on higher time frame. So what we were waiting for, since we have confirmation on it bounced from the higher time frame value area, we go to a lower time frame to look for confirmation value area on lower time frame. Okay, on lower time frame. And where would that be? It's on this next trend line, if it will be broken. Yeah, as you can see, we broke this trend line impulsive, so we were expecting this price to bounce up again from this area. So this was our lower time frame value area, and this was our entry. So me and my premium members, I think we took this trade from here. The price did reject that area quite nice. Yeah, you can see the price rejected it and started pushing the upside, but quickly reversed the downside and took us out. Then again it has pushed up. Okay, so what's happening is that the price, or you're looking at the higher time frame, you can see the price is still at our value area. Yeah, so what we do is just adjust this to this recent low over here. Okay, we go to the daily chart again. We have adjusted our pattern. So this was the next touch over here, and the price now is pushing again to the upside. Now looking at the way the price even came to this value area, you can see this is like a 1, 2, 3 move. Yeah, this is a complete pattern over here for another push to the upside. Yeah, so we are building more confidence to our buyers. So you can draw this one. We are having this one over here, and then I think to be this one or this one to be right around this area. Yeah, so as you can see with our first initial setup over here, you can see this price tapped nicely on this 3 touch in a pattern, and then we are looking for that buy the upside. So we had more confidence to our buyers. Okay, but right now the price came back to same value area, and now it's pushing up again. So what we will be looking for, it's still the buys. Yeah, we are still looking for the buys. Now let's get rid of this. We clean up our chart. Now we have only this. Okay, now to look for a safer entry in this area, we will be looking for a break of this area. Okay, break of this trend. But you can see the trend line is still so far, because this is a daily chart. We can go down to a lower time frame. We look for lower time frame entry before even that one. Okay, so what we are having currently is we have this first target. If the price will be pushing to the upside, this is a key area over there. And then we draw our trend line again. This is how we look for our entries, guys. This is how we look for our entries. This is our trend line right there. Then we mark our value area, and if you have noticed, the value area has not changed. Yeah, if you have noticed, our value area from this area to this area is still on the same level. So what we'll be waiting for is a pullback and a push to the upside. This will be our first target, but we all know our overall target. This one is like a swing to us. Okay, we know our overall target is aiming those major highs over at the top and the third touch. Okay, so better look out for this one, guys. This one looks good coming next week, and I hope we'll reap some good profits out of it. Okay, now next one, we go to pound Aussie. Okay, pound Aussie, let's look at the weekly chart. Pound Aussie has been pushing to the upside on a weekly chart, and I can see, first and foremost, let's come up with the value areas. We'll see if they have been tapped, so that we know which direction we should be looking at. So first and foremost, we had this push to the downside right here. Okay, then after that impulsive phase, we had this. Okay, I think it's accurate enough. We have a higher time frame value area which has not been triggered yet. Okay, so the price, you can see the price tried to push once, twice, but it didn't come to this area. Okay, next thing we can see is another value area on this trend line right here. Okay, this one we had this value area, but if you look at this, we might have also inner value area, because we still have inner trend line on this one. We still have inner trend line over here, so we can as well look for entries either on this value area or on the lower value, or on the outer trend line. Yeah, but you can see, since this one is a higher time frame value area, which we could not have entered from this level, right? Because the stop loss will be big. What we do is, once we have reaction on our value area on higher time frame, we go to a lower time frame, we look for a lower time frame value area. Okay, so the price came back to this area, tried to push the inner value area, but it rejected and pushed to the downside. So over here you can see this is where the price reacted nicely to the higher time frame value area, and the price pushed to the downside. Now what I'm assuming for this price to do is to come back to this area before we push to the upside. Yeah, but we also have another scenario, because we have this pattern right here. Okay, this is another pattern on a weekly chart that is forming, that potentially if we get this third touch, it might trigger this move all the way to this area. Yeah, if we get that big touch over there, and probably it might maybe form the long wicks. These long wicks might be the ones tapping this area right there. So we have those two confluences on this pair, so it can either continue pushing up to the third touch, or you can start dropping from where it is. Okay, now looking at the inside move over here, we also had this trend line right here. We also had this outermost trend line. We locate our area, which will be this one. As you can see, this is another higher time frame value area that was tapped over here with this long wick, but I think this one is due to something happened over here, of which I usually prefer price pushing to a value area like this, not like these long wicks. These ones are usually maybe due to news or some other things that are happening in the world, so I don't usually count these ones as the legit touches. This one though can be legit one. And then if this price comes and taps this area, since we are aware that the price might tap this area and continue up the third touch, we look for an area where the price might be coming back to, and that will be this other value area where the price has not tapped. Yeah, so it might be just a push over here, forming a correction up to this area, then we continue pushing to the upside. Yeah, you need to be aware of both scenarios. So once the price taps this area, we might again push to the upside. So this will be our main target over there if the price will push to the downside. Yeah, so once we have all that, we go to the lower time frame. We look for some patterns that might add to our bias in the market. So over here we have you can see this expanding pattern. You have expanding pattern over here. Okay, the pattern looks nice and it's complete actually. So as you can see, after that third touch, the price pushed the downside impulsive. So we also have few scenarios that might happen over here. It's either since we have tapped this third touch, it has reacted, then it's either we might push up, correct you up to this area, forming another pattern over here. You can see this will be an M pattern. Yeah, an M pattern that moves up, down, then goes up, but instead of pushing aggressive like the previous ways, it goes up corrective, then drops the down. So this is an M pattern, but you can see this right side of it goes with a pattern. Okay, this is so common in the market, and I usually see it because people are going to be trapped in this area. If this price will come back to this area, it will form a double top. People will be triggered on this one, but then the price comes back up, taking them out, then we drop again to the downside. So this one is so common because the market makers also know people are trading these patterns, so they can easily trick us on that. But another version is if this price will push down from where it is right now. Yeah, if this price will push down from where it is right now, we might get that drop all over this area, then we start again pushing to the upside. So what we'll be doing, we will be flowing with what the market is giving us. So first and foremost, we draw our outermost trend line to get our value area, and I think I'm active in this already because our value area, as you can see, our value area has been triggered, our pending order over here. Okay, this is our lower time frame value area on our outermost trend line. So for me, I've been triggered already, but I'm aware we still have an order block right at the top, so it can be easily be taken out on that one. So I'm aware there is an order block, and just to add confidence in it, you can see we still have this lower time frame trend line right here. Okay, so to be precise, with our order block, we draw our trend line and then we draw our value area, which will be around these levels. Yeah, so if this price can either go down from this level or go down from these levels, so you need to be aware of those two scenarios that might happen. So for me, I'm already in on this one, but I'm aware that it might lose on it. Okay, I'm aware that I might lose on it, but if this price will continue pushing the downside, once you break this low, I'll be moving my stops to break even. Okay, because we might break the low and then bounce to the upside. Yeah, because this is the recent lower high, so it might break it. So once it has broken it, I'll be changing character. So that's why you might get this push up to this order block before continuing to the downside. Yeah, so I hope I'm clear on this one. Also, the pair looks good, the shape looks nice. Okay guys, next on the list is Aussie kiwi. Aussie kiwi, looking at the weekly chart, let's look at it. On the weekly chart, okay, this one we have been having a pattern since last year, and we are still on that same pattern, guys. Like a big swing is on this pair, so we won't get rid of it anytime soon. Probably the rest of this year and the next year, I think will still be on this pair. Okay, so we are having this pattern over here, of which I'm expecting this price to push all the way down to this third touch. Then once we have this third touch, we break to the upside. Yeah, this is my idea on this one. And currently we are forming a correction. Okay, we are forming a correction because, as you can see, this push to the downside was impulsive. So I'm expecting this price, if this is a correction, if it has ended, then another push will be coming to the downside. Yeah, we did take this trade to the downside, this one on lower time frame area correction, and then we were taken out somewhere around this level, because we also know we are trading higher time frame patterns. So this one can easily push all the way to these areas because it's a higher time frame correction, so it might take a while to be ready again. So the next value area that we are looking at is the overall trend line right here. Yeah, so this one is a higher time frame value area where the price, we're expecting the price to come back to. So once the price triggers this area, that's where we'll be looking for sales to the downside. And looking at it currently, as you can see, the way the price has been behaving in that area, it's forming liquidity. Yeah, this area is forming liquidity, this area right here, because we have some equal highs over there. Okay, so I'm expecting this price to come back up again. We break this area, grab liquidity over there, we tap this value area, then we push to the downside. Yeah, this is what I'm expecting this price to do, and perhaps we might shape up like this. Yeah, we might shape up like this, but we'll see how it goes. But our main target is at the top. Now, since we know our value area has not been triggered at the top, what we'll be looking at is a push, is a buy. Yeah, we'll be looking for a buy. Okay, as you can see, as I recently said, this was the lower time frame entry that we got right here. Okay, if I'm to draw the inner trend line, it will be this level right here. So with this pair, the first entry for buys was all the way down here. The first entry for buys, since we're on a daily chart, guys, so remember, since on a daily chart, this on 4 hour was a very nice pullback for these buys. Yeah, so this was the buy again we took, and then the price pushed again to the downside, and you can see it broke that value area. So by that, it means that once it has broken the outermost trend line, it might be going for the innermost trend line, which is this one. Yeah, the lower time frame trend line. So it came back to this one over here, and then it bounced again to the upside. So I don't expect this price to come back to this area, because it has come back not once but twice. Okay, so for me, I'm counting this as a pullback. After this sharp move to the upside. Yeah, now we are going to look for value area where this price might be heading to before we continue with the push to the upside. Now we are going to start with the outermost trend line. Outermost trend line will be this right here. Yeah, and you can see the outermost trend line, the price did react, and I took this trade also. The price reacted, pushed the upside, then came back down, taking me out. Was it a break even really? Because if it moved up less than 50 pips, then that one should be a break even. Okay, this one was around 89 pips, so maybe I secure some small profit. And once it has violated that, we look for an inner value area. Yeah, inner value area, which is this one. Okay, this is the area that you are going to be looking for push again to the upside. So this is a lower time frame value area, which I'll be waiting for the price to tag me in from this area. But if you are still want to be on the safer side of the market, what you do is you wait for a break of this trend line. Okay, now problem with this other trend line is that the price, it might push back down to tap our value area, or it might miss. Okay, it doesn't always come back. Okay, so we might push down, tap this value area, push up, came back to our value area, the price has broken, then this will be the safest entry to enter. Yeah, because this one you will have confirmed it. Okay, but sometimes it doesn't come, sometimes it might just go without tapping this one, so that's why we can risk it over here. Okay, so watch out for this one. This one looks so nice, and our target will be on the higher time frame value area at the top over there. Okay, so watch out on this one. Next pair we have the currencies. The last one is Aussie yen. Yen pairs have been very, very volatile, and according to my patterns, the best one that I had, the best pair for yen that I had a good pattern was kiwi yen, yeah, but it pushed aggressive, and I unfortunately I missed the entry. In fact, let's just look at it before I look at this one. Kiwi yen had the best setup, and I also posted it. This one was the best setup that we could have gotten on yen pairs. Yeah, we had this pattern. This one was a very, very nice one, guys. This one was a very, very nice one. So we had this pattern, and we were looking for sales, right? We were looking for sales. Now going down to a lower time frame, we also had confluence. Yeah, we had confluence over here. You can see the price had this pattern also at the top of the bigger. So this one was nice, and then the price pushed down up to the 90% rule over there. So I was to enter this price pushing the downside, but I don't know where my mind was, because it gave us a very nice entry. Perhaps I could have capitalized on this one. Let me just adjust all of this. Okay, so we had this push the downside. So what I was to do is to draw this over here. Then we will look for a value area. Look for a value area at the top over there. Now, our value area was to be on this area right here. Yeah. So if we were to go to a lower time frame, let me just adjust it to go to a lower time frame. Actually, this was the value area right there. Yeah. So we were to enter on this area over here, and these areas over here. Okay, so this was the area we were to enter on. Stop loss above the previous high right there, and the price did react very, very nicely, and it pushed all the way to the 90% rule of this inner pattern. Okay, and that's where now we are pushing again to the upside. So what I'm expecting currently, looking at the way the price has moved, let's see. Let's draw our outermost trend line on higher time frame. We will be having this. So this will be our value area right here. Okay, so I think the price is almost at that value area, or as it tapped it. Let's see. This one. Let's take this as the higher time frame value area, and then let's see. We take this as our zone. Sorry about the noise. We take this as our zone over there. So I expect this price to push the downside, but looking the way the price is moving, it's like it had just a sharp move down and a sharp move up. So we might also as easily form a correction over here and continue pushing to the upside according to the way the price has shaped up currently. Okay, so since we know this scenario might happen, we draw another value area where we might see the price bounce back up. Okay, so whenever this price taps this lower time frame value area, we might get that push to the upside. So depending on how the price will be pushing to the downside over here, if it will push corrective, then this one will be pushing to the upside once more. Okay, it might push the upside once more, because we have just approached this value area impulsively, not corrective. If this was a corrective move, then we'll have count this as the next move to the downside, but it has been impulsive. Yeah, so if we're looking at this, the safe area to look at, let's see, I think the best thing to do is not to look for these sells. It might, this one is risky. Yeah, the sells are a bit risky because the push the upside is a bit impulsive, and your target will be here because it has 100 pips. But the safe trade to look at is wait for this correction to come to this low. Okay, if it will come corrective up to this area, then this will be your trade to look at. First target over there, and then the overall target wherever it will go. Yeah, wherever it will go. So we are on a double edged sword over here. Okay, so going back to our euro, let's go back to our Aussie yen. Looking at Aussie yen on a daily chart, let's see. On a daily chart, we had this pattern right here, yeah, which formed a nice push to the downside. Then if we were to locate our value area, the outermost value area would have been this one right here. And this one, I had very much expectation with this price to put the downside with this one. So you can see on lower time frame, the price came back to it. Yeah, if you go to a 1 hour or 4 hour, this was a nice pullback, and then the price broke to the downside. But on a higher time frame, we don't count that as the pullback. In fact, we count this candle as the order block now. Okay, we count this one as the order block right here. But you can see the price came and violated that area. Okay, once violated that area, we look for the extreme order block. Okay, and the extreme order block will be this big red candle, because it took liquidity of the previous candle. Yeah, you can see it pushed way up with this wick. So this wick shows that there was buy to sell. Okay, so this is a buy to sell candle. So this was the extreme area that the price could have moved. Yeah, the extreme zone. Okay, so the price tapped that area and then pushed the downside. Now looking at it, we need to look at where this price might be pushing, because looking at this push over here was very, very aggressive. Yeah, so to me, I'm counting this as a pullback for continuation again to the upside. Yeah, continuation to the upside. So where this price might pull back to, that's why we need to look at. So we are going to use our trend line. First trend line was here. Okay, the price broke it to this level, broke again inside. So we keep adjusting until where we got a clean break. Okay, so that's why we got a clean break, and then we mark this area. So to me, this is the area that I'm expecting this price to come back to. Okay, I'm expecting this area to come back to this area. If it will be coming back as a pullback, then as a correction, then we might get another push to the upside. Okay, now looking at it at the top, let's go to a lower time frame. Looking at it at the top, let me get rid of this line. I could not get this entry because it just went all the way to the extreme order block. Yeah, my nice order block was violated. So right now what I can do is I can draw the overall trend line over here. But you can see from this overall trend line, the price did violate it. Yeah, it did violate it, pushed all the way to the upside, then that's why it pushed the downside. But you can see, as much as this price is pushing the downside, but it doesn't have momentum. Yeah, as you can see, this push to the downside, this push that I've just started, this push it's impulsive as compared to this one right here. So what we do, since it violated our value area, we adjust up to where the price did not come back up, which is this area. Okay, that area. So next thing we do, we draw our value area from this level right there. So these are lower time frame value area. So I'm expecting this price, you can see these are impulsive waves. So I'm expecting a correction over here, push all the way to this area, then again another push to the downside. So as you can see, this push now will be corrective. Yeah, because of that deep push down and deep push up. So this one is going to be corrective like this, then we get that push again to the upside. Okay, now let's go again to a lower time frame. We look for a value area. Let's go to a 1 hour. Now going down to a 1 hour, we draw another trend line. Okay, another trend line. Our overall trend line right now will be this. You don't have to complicate these patterns, guys. So it's just use trend lines. Sometimes it can help you. Making it simple is very, very important. So this is our overall trend line that has been broken, and clearly it has been broken very, very impulsive. If you were to look for a lower time frame value area, which was the deeper one, you can see this was the lower time frame value area. So this one could easily give you an entry on a 15-minute time frame. Yeah, but for me, I usually look at most. If I go down minimum, I look at 1 hour or 4 hour value areas, because 15-minute value area is usually an order block for a higher time frame move. Yeah, so most of the time you might enter on 15-minute value area, and then the price will come back again to that same area before pushing again to the upside, because it usually forms the order block on that area. Okay, so right now what I'm expecting on this pair is to continue correcting over here to this area, then we get this push up to this area, then from here we'll see how the price will go, but we'll be expecting another push to the downside once we have tapped that area. Okay, perhaps giving us this pattern over here, this pattern. Okay guys, so I hope I'm clear on Aussie yen. and the other currency pairs. Now we are going to look at US oil and Bitcoin. Okay, so looking at US oil, it's been so long since I've traded US oil, because with US oil, for me, I just look at swing setups. Yeah, for me, I look at swing setups. So looking at US oil, the way it has moved, first and foremost, I'm just straightforward. I'm going to look for my value areas. Yeah, so this is the highest high that was formed, and the price broke this trend line. Yeah, price broke this trend line over here. Now let's go to the monthly to get a clear break. If you see where the price has broken, it is a bit dirty, you just go to a higher time frame where the price will be a bit clear. Okay, so this is the area that the price broke, right here, right there. So as you can see, this is a higher time frame value area, and if we were to use 4-hour or a daily chart to wait for this pullback, you can see this will have been our first pullback right here. It pushed the upside, came back down, tapped the same area, and then pushed the upside. But we are using a higher time frame. If we are to use a higher time frame pullback, this is the pullback. This over here is the pullback to us. So with me, I'm expecting another drop because we haven't tapped it. Once we have tapped this area, we push again to the upside. Now, the push the upside will determine whether we continue pushing the downside or to the upside, because as much as we are getting reaction from the value areas, but it doesn't mean they will be broken again. Yeah, that's why we look for value areas on higher time frame, because this push alone over here was enough to make profit before even the price came back again to the downside. It was enough to make profit. Yeah, so what we're expecting right now, for me, I'm expecting this price to tap this area, then whether if we'll push corrective, then we'll be looking again for another drop the downside. Okay, now where we'll push aggressive, where we'll push to the upside, we need to locate now the value areas at the top over here, because you can see this was a clean push to the downside. So I'm expecting a pullback on those levels. So firstly, I draw a higher time frame value area, and look at the higher time frame value area, the price did come. Okay, that green candle over there, this green candle was enough pullback. If we are to go to a lower time frame, this was enough pullback to take the trade. Okay, so our higher time frame value area, let me just adjust it, was here. Okay, so the price pushed this area and then again dropped the downside. So it might, whenever the price taps this area now, will also be will be alert on it. But the value area that I'll be looking at is around this. You can see this candle right here. This is the order block we'll be looking at. This is the order block we'll be looking at actually. So what we should do is we look at this as the key area. In fact, I'm not even looking at that higher time frame value area. And then this one also has another key area. Then this one will be our order block. Now looking at the inner value area, you can see our inner value area lies just on that order block. Yeah, and it's usually like that. It's only that I'm just simplifying those order blocks using trend lines. Okay, I'm simplifying them using trend lines. So this one is also our higher time frame value area, and that will be our target that we'll be looking at. So if this price will be pushing up corrective to tap this area, then another drop will be coming. Yeah, another drop will be coming. But I'm expecting this to be our target. But still, it's not yet ready, because as I've said, I'm expecting another drop to this area before we push up. Once we have pushed up, we draw a clean trend line. We wait for the price to come back. Then that will be our entry. Yeah, that will be our entry to the upside. Now, looking at it, assuming that this price is pushing up right now, assuming that this price is ready to push to the upside, because we never know, the price might come back to this order block right here. The price might come back to this area, then drop the downside, or we might still continue pushing to the upside. So looking at the overall trend line right here, it has been broken. Yeah, it has been broken, and the price hasn't come back down below it. So we can as well count this area as our value area. And for me, this one is a lower time frame. Can you say lower time frame? Okay, let me just put it as higher time frame because we're on a weekly chart, but we can still draw this on a daily chart. Okay, we can still draw this on a daily chart. Let me just refine it. Now upon refining it, let's see if we are correct. Yeah, so this one will be here. Yeah, so I'm expecting this price to give me reaction from this low, pushing to the upside, or the price to come and take out these wicks. You can see we have these wicks over here. I expect the price might come back and take out those wicks, but looking the way the price has pushed the upside, we might get a pullback on lower time frame, one more push up, maybe we tap this area, then we get again another drop to the downside. So let's continue dropping the downside to see how this price might be shaping up. So going to the 4 hour, since we're expecting the price to tap this level minimum, yeah, because I'm expecting another bounce up from this area. So what else do we have? We have, let's build some confidence on this pair. We have this area which the price has reacted from. Then we have, let's see if we can get a pattern. We have this, and you can see the price did extend to the upside, broke this key area, and then quickly had a very deep, very impulsive move to the downside. So what I'm expecting currently is this price to give me a pullback, then at least target this area. Okay, you might go all the way to these levels, but at least target this area because it might continue bouncing up again. So let's look for our lower time frame value area that the price might be coming back to. So this one is a bit obvious. Just look for the innermost trend line. This one you don't have to sweat it. So this one over here. So our value area will be here. This one is a lower time frame value area right there. Then let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, this one is clean enough. I can get rid of this. So for me, I'll be waiting for this pullback. Yeah, so let's just wait for this pullback to this area, then we get another push to the downside. Okay, apart from that one, if you'll miss, because we have many anchor points, this price pushed up very corrective, so we can also have this anchor point right here. Yeah, we can draw it like this, but you can see this one will be forming it around this area. So if you use this and you see this price breaking this area, just know it might be going to this upper one. Okay, it might be going to that upper one. Then if you are looking for the assurance that this price will be pushing the downside, we'll be having now this overall trend line, the outermost trend line. Yeah, this one is usually the best confirmation one. Yeah, so with this one, if this one breaks, then this one will be the confirmation that the price will be pushing again to the downside. Yeah, so just be aware of those two value areas at the top. The price looks so obvious, it will come back. For me, I want it to come back to the topmost value area. Your stop loss should be just above the candle. The candle just you can see this candle over here, so just above it. You should not go above it, because within this area is where I count the order block to be right there. Okay, and then you target this low, target that low. So this one also looks nice, and hopefully it will play out as expected. Lastly, we look at Bitcoin. It's been a while also we traded Bitcoin, because I've told you guys we are still in a corrective phase, because I expect Bitcoin to have another drop the downside. Yeah, this is a corrective phase, guys. We are expecting another push the downside before we get that aggressive push to the upside. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. So currently, since we are on a corrective phase, let's just look at what we are having. So first and foremost, we draw our trend lines. Now if I'm to invert this, let me just invert our trend line over here, to draw a trend line over here. Then we treat this as our next higher time frame value area. Okay, this is our higher time frame value area right there. So what I'm expecting for this price to do is continue moving corrective like this until we reach this area. Then we get one more push up to these areas. Then from there, that's where you'll be looking for another break to the downside. Yeah, that's my anticipation of this market. So let's revert back. but you can see this one will be taking a while. So before this happens, let's look at what the price is doing currently. So looking at this, the price pushed very aggressive the upside over here. Then we are now forming some correction, and looking at that correction, it looks like it's going upwards. Yeah, it's like ascending. If it was if the correction was going downwards, then it could have been an easy continuation to the upside. But looking at it, the correction is going upwards. So what this means is that the price might come back down, then push back up. Yeah, it might have an aggressive push down followed by aggressive push up, because I'm still expecting this push to go to the upside. I'm expecting another push to the upside. Then from here we'll know whether we'll continue all this area or we'll get again another drop to the downside. Okay, so looking at this, let's see what we are having. Okay, first and foremost, we're having this aggressive push over here, and if I'm to draw a trend line from this one, you can see the price did not come back to this trend line. So I can also mark this area to see what the price will do when it taps this level. Yeah, I want to see what the price will do when it taps this area. And at the same time, we are having this overall trend line. Oops. No, I wanted to draw a trend line. So if I were to draw a trend line from this level up to the downside, you can see the area where the price has broken this trend line, it's like there was no momentum in this level. So we can count these areas just like a zone. So the price can easily come back to that same area, okay, because it's just there was no momentum in this area. So we can't get the exact area, but using this value area that we have just drawn, we can say this is the right level to look at. So the price might either push up, push down, then push up again, or you might just continue pushing up this area, push down, maybe get some reaction, then continue pushing the downside. So however it will do, we'll just flow with the market. Now going to the 4 hour, we have this previous key area. Right here. So we need to be aware of this. So whenever we break a key area, the price usually pulls back in. Okay, the price really pulls back in to trap people, then again it breaks to the downside. Yeah, so you might get maybe a push down, push up, break this area, then again push the downside. Yeah, just to trap people above this area. Okay, so always be aware on such scenarios. And then over here we can easily come up with another value area, because as you can see, the price pushed aggressive from these lows over here. So since the price pushed aggressive, we were expecting the price to give us a correction over here, but it continued pushing aggressive to the upside. So we're expecting the price to come back to these lows minimum. Yeah, minimum, we expect the price to come back to this low. If the price will come back to this low corrective, then we'll be expecting another push to the upside. Yeah, and this push the downside, it's being backed up from this correction going upwards. You can see this one is pushing corrective upwards. Yeah, and you can see we have a clean big red candle over here. So you might get a correction over here for another push to the downside. Okay, but let's go to let's try and draw this perfectly the way it should be. So let's go to the 1 hour, look at this corrective move that is happening over here. So the price had made this previous high right here, came back to it over here, reacted to it again, then broke the downside. Now when the price came back to that area again, people are looking for sales, and what happens is it takes them out, grabs all the liquidity above this high, and then breaks to the downside. Now if you are trading patterns, you should very well know that this is the pattern that is shaping up at the top over there. This is the pattern that is shaping up, and you can see that was our third touch, which we expect the price to break back inside. Yeah, then we have our 90% rule, which is here. So for me, looking at this, I'm expecting this price to push to the downside. And looking at this impulsive leg over here, it's a clear indication that we might get another push again to the downside. Now let's look for a value area for that push to the downside. Now looking at the way the price has moved at the top over here, if you are to get it at a value area, the first one will have been, the outermost can be like this, or can be like, let me see, this one is a bit hard to draw. It can be like this, and then that one will give us this area as our order block. Okay, it might come back to this area, but I don't think it will come back to this area, but it might come back to that area. Let's look at the overall trend line, if it has been, the way it has been broken. The overall trend line could have been this one. I think we'll go with the overall trend line. Yeah, we'll go with the overall trend line. If it will take us out with the overall trend line, that's when we'll be looking for the inner one. Okay, because I don't think it will push back to those areas. I don't think so. But if it does, we'll also take action on it. So our overall trend line will be having this value area. Yeah. So for now, this will be our pairing order right here. Okay. This is our pairing order right there. We look for a continuation all the way to the 90% rule. Then from there we secure some profits, and then we look for our overall target, which is down here. Okay. So this is my take on Bitcoin, and it looks good, guys. The Bitcoin has shaped up nicely to push, for the price to push to the downside. Yeah. So that's it I have for this weekend. I wish you guys a good trading week, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers, guys. Cheers.